What's up guys, Benny here and welcome to my top 10 best loadouts for Call of Duty Warzone right now. Before we get into the first loadout, let's check out the sponsor of today's video, Lenovo Legion. So the first loadout that we have is the meta loadout in Call of Duty Warzone right now, the Bren with the MP40. Now the Bren is the perfect mid to long range weapon in the game right now. It operates more like an assault rifle compared to an LMG that we've experienced. I think the closest thing we've ever had in Warzone was the Bruin from Modern Warfare, but the class setup you want with this is the MX silencer, the Queen 705mm Royal Barrel, which gives you this incredible pro, which damage does not diminish over range. So whatever range you're shooting someone, whether it's 1,000 meters away or if they're right in your face, you're gonna get the same time to kill, which is pretty damn incredible. The Type 11 also has this, so make sure to use that. Then I used the G16 2.5 times optic. There is a great option as well if you want a little bit of extra range, where you go for the SVT 3 to 6 times, but for me personally, the 2.5 times works. Now the stock is actually something that you really want to pay attention to. Most people have been running the Queen's Model 11BH, which has been traditionally the best stock. That is, however, not true. The Hawkinson gives you much better recoil as well as increased flinch resistance from all the testing that's been done. So make sure you use that. Tight grip, easily the best perk. Fully loaded so you get all the ammo. Polymer grip, even more flinch resistance and accuracy recoil during sustained fire. 6.5 40 round mag, lengthened, and then you want the M1930 strife angled grip. And that's the best Bren setup in the game. The MP40 that you want to be using is the recoil booster, the Krosnick 317mm barrel, the slate reflector. You can go ahead if you want a little bit of a faster ADS and use the iron sight, but I've used both over a period of time. I think just having that slate reflector to be exceptionally accurate, even at those little further ranges, works out best. Krosnick 33mm folding stock, unmarked, because that means that you stay off the radar when you're firing, pretty much the same as having a suppressor. Quick, then I have taped, for aiming stability and weapon swap quickness. Now, this I will get into when I get into the rest of the class, but very useful attachment. Then I have the 45 round 7.62 Gorenko mag, incendiary, one of the best ammo types in the game because it stops people from plating, and because that we're going to be running combat scout, it means that you can track an opponent a little bit easier and win those gunfights. Carver foregrip as the underbarrel, and then your perks are EOD, so incendiary doesn't do as much damage to you because everyone's running incendiary rounds, but then you also have combat scout, so those incendiary burns are giving you kind of pings and also stopping someone playing, so you can play especially aggressive and get those kills that someone otherwise might have been able to get away. Frag grenade and stim are my kind of two lethals and tacticals of choice that I used throughout this video, but right now this is the meta loadout, though Raven have said there are going to be some changes to both these guns in the near future. Use it whilst you can. Next, we've got a sniper setup that I love using. It's with the Kar98K and the Volk, which is going to be starting to be used a lot more, especially with some upcoming changes, which I'll get onto in a second. But the Kar98K build for Vanguard that you want to be using, Scout Silencer for the muzzle, the VDD Rio 2K barrel, the SVT40 PU scope 3 to 6 times, so you can use 6 times those distances, but it's so snappy. This thing is ridiculous. It's almost it's as close as you can get to the Swiss and the Modern Warfare Kar98K, and potentially even like up there with it, to be perfectly honest. Short stock, just to give you that movement speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire, aim walking movement speed, just to make it as snappy as possible. Quick scope, so you can be as accurate as possible. Leather grip, 5 round fast mag, lengthened, and the heavy foregrip. Ridiculous build. I actually really enjoy using this, and I think if we see changes to the Swiss and the Kar98K from Modern Warfare, it's going to be people just kind of like hopping over to this, especially in Vanguard Royale, where you can use Vanguard weapons. That is your sniper of choice. Now, the Volk, I've been using this on stream, and I love this gun for close range. Perfect sniper support weapon. Recoil booster, you can go ahead and use the Mercury silencer if you want to stay off radar. I don't really mind too much. I just kind of use this to take everyone out up close and just like kind of draw people towards me. Caustic 428mm 05V barrel, which is the very first one. Slate reflector, which is my close range optic of choice. You then want the Reisdorf 22V adjustable stock. Fleet, so that when you get a so you can do the weapon swap quickness, so you can switch between your sniper and the Volk as quickly as possible, and also increase movement speed, which is really helpful, makes it more like an SMG. Fully loaded polymer grip for flinch resistance and increased accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. 7.62 40 round mag. Then I use incendiaries. I'm using it as close range, same reason I use it with the MP40. And then the M3 ready grip. This will be used a lot more often. As close as I can think of it is like the FAR in the Black Ops Cold War meta, but it's so much fun to use and perfect for close range, while the fastest time to kills, and also at those little bit longer distances, which you are going to need when you've got a sniper support weapon. Same perk, lethal, and tactical setup. The next loadout that I've got is actually something that I think we're going to start seeing more when the next change comes into play, where visual recoil is going to be removed from a lot of these guns, and the BAR is one of the hardest hitting assault rifles in the entire game. You want the MX silencer, CGC 30XL barrel, the G16 2.5 times optic, pistol grip custom stock, the hard scope perk, fully loaded, polymer grip, the 50 BMG 40 round mag, lengthened, and then the M1930 strife angled underbarrel, which is the best to counter recoil in the game at the moment. So that's the BAR setup. Yes, it has a low rate of fire, so there's a big margin for there's not really much margin for error, but if you hit your shots, incredible weapon for mid to long range, and something that I think we'll see used even more when that Bren nerf comes in. Then we've got the PPSH, something that's not been used as much. I think everyone's been leaning towards like the MP40 and the shotguns, one of which, right, I've got another shotgun build later on in this video that is ridiculous. But the PPSH, recoil booster, ZAC 300mm barrel, the ISO 3P optic. You can go for the slate reflector if you want. ZAC folding, tight grip, quick taped grip, the 7.62 Gorenko 71 round mag, hollow point, but you can of course go for incendiary as well. It's personal preference, but because of the high fire rate, I kind of was using hollow point, but incendiary is just as good. The Carver foregrip to finish that class setup off. Same perk and tactical and lethal setup. Then my next setup that I've got is a great sniper support weapon, the AS44. Now this is a hip fire build, and it's obscene. It's just like you can just run around gun hose sprinting and just gunning people down with this, and like there has never been a gun like this. You got the Mercury silencer, the Empress 400mm, which is very key because it's going to be hip fire accuracy. Just means it keeps that hip fire spread really tight, so you can be really accurate with it. Slate reflector, removed stock, gun hose, so you can sprint and fire at the same time. This is great when you're trying to transition or catch up on people or fight within buildings. Fully loaded for more AR ammo. Pine tar grip for that hip fire accuracy once again. You've then got the 60 round Russian short mag. Hollow point because you're hip firing, so you're not being as controlled with your aim. So you're going to get more shots that hit those limbs, so you get those higher time to kill potentials. And then the Carver foregrip for that hip fire accuracy. AS44, a lot of fun to use. Give it a go. And then I pair that with a Swiss, whatever sniper you want to use. The Swiss build is the Groove Suppressor, 24.9-inch combat recon, SWAT 5MW laser sight, bruiser grip, and then the Serpent wrap. And that's the build there. And here I do use amped because I'm not really needing combat scout. And then I've got the Swiss there with stim and a frag as well. But if you're running that, the pine tar grip just is really helpful because it means you don't need to run the taped grip to get that kind of fast weapon switch. So really fun build class setup to use. Then my next class is my STG MP40 setup. Now, like I said, when the changes come into the Bren, I think we could start seeing this used a lot more. On the STG itself, it's the MX silencer, the VDD 760mm 05B barrel, G16 2.5 times optic. Remember, use the optic that you want, because I know a lot of people also really enjoy using the 3 to 6 times scope, which is from the SVT. Really, that's all down to your personal preference. Either works. I personally use a G16 and I go for the crosshair dot. That's all personal preference though. Then you've got the VDD 34S weighted stock, Vital, fully loaded, polymer grip, the 50 round 7.62 mag, because that means you get the benefits of Vital because it's a smaller caliber and increases that torso output, lengthened, and then the M1941 hand stop under barrel, which has been the best for recoil control for me. Makes this an absolute laser, really fun to use. And then the MP40 is the same as we've already checked out. Next, we have my Cooper Carbine with the OTS-9. Now, this Cooper Carbine is the long-range Cooper. You might remember, the Cooper dominated close range like a few weeks ago before the nerfs happened before Christmas. But this is one of the fastest time to kills kind of mid to long-range assault rifles. Yes, it falls off at those kind of longer ranges compared to like the Bren, which doesn't get that damage drop-off. But it's just such a high fire rate assault rifle. There's a big margin for error. Kind of like the M13 used to be, but I'd say a little bit better. Mercury silencer, 22-inch Cooper custom barrel, G16 2.5 times optic, the Cooper 45 RS stock, tight grip. This is probably one of the best perks in the entire game for recoil control. Don't know what it is. It just makes it just like super solid. Like most people would go for Vital because of the increased torso damage, but this just makes it really good for those mid to long range fights because you need to make sure that the recoil is as tight as possible. Fully loaded, polymer grip, the 60 round 9mm drum, lengthened for that increased bullet velocity, and then the M1941 hand stop. One of my favorite assault rifles to use at the moment if I'm not using the Bren, because like the Bren can get a bit boring. Like if you're using the Bren all the time, you're gonna get bored a bit more. And then it's the OTS-9. If you're playing standard battle royale, it's still like one of the best submachine guns in the entire game. Groove suppressor, 8.1-inch task force barrel, VDV 40 round fast mag, serpent wrap, and the KGB skeletal stock. Still love using it. EOD overkill amped, frag grenade, and the stim. But yeah, don't underestimate that setup at all. It's incredible. And talking of other Black Ops Cold War weapons that are incredible, the EM2, do not sleep on it. Agency suppressor, 25.8-inch task force barrel, field agent grip, 40 round, and then the actual arms 3 times optic. Now, with the change coming to the Vanguard assault rifles, I think you're going to start seeing them used a lot more over Cold War weapons. I think it's kind of that kind of standard process of kind of like getting rid of weapons over a period of time and making Vanguard weapons the primary weapons to use. But modern warfare weapons like the Kilo are still really good to use. The MP7, the MP5, they're all still viable. I think just the standard kind of like Warzone mentality, this year's guns are going to be the best ones. And talking of one of the best guns in the game right now, we have the Einhorn revolving shotgun. This thing is broken beyond belief. We had the double barrel Akimbos. They got nerfed. And now we have the new king of the shotguns. M97 full choke, Clauser 710mm O2B barrel, slate reflector, remove stock, sleight of hand, quick fabric. Now the birdshot 5-round cylinder. Now this says it decreases your damage range and bullet penetration. It doesn't. It's incorrect. It actually increases it. And this just shreds, it's disgusting. It absolutely is disgusting. 2-shot kill at pretty long ranges, and there's not really much anyone can do about it, especially if you're pre-aiming a position. Very, 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 very good, and it's going to drive us all insane. So use it whilst you can. It will get nerfed as soon as Raven get about kind of knowing how broken it is. But then you've got the Smile pistol grip under barrel as well. And then that finishes up that particular class. Next, we've got another sniper sport. It's that Volk that I like to use for when I'm using a sniper. Best sniper sport gun in my personal opinion, alongside the AS44. And then we've got the Modern Warfare Kar98K. Really, really easy to use. It's starting to see a bit of a resurgence over the Swiss out of the Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare weapons. But monolithic suppressor, Singard custom 27.6 barrel, tac laser, sniper scope, then the ST Volt precision comb to finish it up. And like honestly, I love using this loadout. It definitely mixes things up, and I'm kind of like leaning more towards Battle Royale at the moment rather than Vanguard Royale because the planes are driving me mad. And then second, I've got my 2 Ghost classes. Now, I've actually got the Phlebotomist lethal because something else that Raven need to fix. This will actually mean that you spawn in with your primary weapon. A little bit stupid, so if I die, I'll spawn in with all my perks and the MP40 when I get brought back. Bit stupid, but it's there. Kind of want to raise awareness. It's there still in the game. It hasn't been fixed yet. Took a month to get rid of the invisible skin. Hopefully this gets fixed as soon as possible. But that's the MP40 that I have in my Ghost class. And then I've got the Bren here as well as my ghost setup. Pretty much I switch whatever weapons I'm using as my close range and long range weapon into these two loadouts. But those are my top 10 loadouts for Call of Duty Warzone right now. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you next time for more Call of Duty Warzone. Thanks for watching.